Woo! Welcome to the Kick-Ass Irreverent Video Computer System Game Program podcast by Affable Idiots. It's Respawn Aim Fire. Hey! I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Poopy Butthole, a.k.a. Chad Michaelinis. And we've also got here our other co-host, Mr. Poopier Butthole, Adam Gumby. How are you, Adam?
Oh, geez, Rick. Oh, geez.
Geez.
I fucking love the episode where they're on the Citadel and it's like training day where they follow the Morty cop.
Oh yeah.
And he's talking to the other Morty. He's like, "Oh geez, guys. Oh geez." But he says it like real fucking. He's tired of the shit. By the way, I hope you're doing good, Chad, on this fine Monday afternoon. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of know the answer, but I didn't know the answer fully. Last week on the podcast, I really need to start doing TikToks because just cutting shit out is fucking funny. Last week I mentioned fucking Magic Vapor Shop, the local
yes.
fucking dumbass commercials we have, and we went down a rabbit hole. And then I pointed you to their YouTube, which I believe the commercials on the YouTube are a little different from the ones we normally hear on the radio. How did you feel after listening to the Magic Vapor Shop commercials?
They are. How do I put this? They are exactly the conspiracy shit that you might expect to hear from like a Tucker, like if Tucker Carlson did vape commercials. That's what I felt. That's what I felt.
The YouTube ones are so much worse than what's on the normal radio. Like, it's like 2 seconds, like, man, the government wants to tax my vape, but come down and check out my location next to the Pizza Hut. Woohoo! But the YouTube stuff is like a minute and a half of, conspiracy, like the government's after us to take away my money.
Yeah.
Go to magicvaporshop.com.
.com. You know what else I love? I love that it's not like a pre-recorded, like, this is the jingle for magicvaporshop.com. It's him doing it live every time, so it's slightly different each time.
Yeah. That guy, what a man.
Welcome, everyone. You can watch us on twitch.tv/affableidiots. Most of the time it's on Sunday evenings, but today's on a Monday afternoon, and you can join us in the chat. We've got Porkchop spamming his dad in the chat. Porkchop118YT has an emote of his dad, and it's incredible. So go there, check that out on twitch.tv/affableidiots, or you can watch it on demand, YouTube and podcasts on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Speaking of on demand, our BARF episode for September is officially live after many delays from me forgetting it to access issues, etc. Zelda 2. That's the game you wanted us to play in September. We reviewed it. It is up on services as of about 30 minutes ago, and there are some really surprising, wonderful things in there. There are a lot of really, like, this isn't fun to play things in there, so go check it out. And you can watch this one without being spoiled, Brent. So do that.
Call him out.
Calling him out. All right, upcoming today, we're going to talk about Pratt Attack. Pratt. We're going to rejoice if you're a JRPG dork. And we've got some PS facts. Remember cat facts? Remember when you don't remember cat facts?
No, not at all.
So it was this thing, it was mostly used as a prank, although I'm sure there were people who used it as a legitimate service to learn about cats. But you sign someone up for cat facts. You go in there and you like enter in their phone number, and it starts texting them facts about cats.
Interesting.
The best thing is whenever like they can't cancel for some reason, like I'll send you a link to like some of the best cat
just send
facts
me some cat
things.
facts, I guess. Yeah. That's cool.
So you would just sign someone up for cat facts. Yeah, that was college. That was late aughts, early teens.
Understand. Back in the day.
Yep. Before we get to PS facts and cat facts, though, we've got some other facts coming from CDPR. CD Projekt Red shows us what's coming. This information comes from IGN.com.
Fucking ruined. It's ruined everything. I'm sorry.
CD Projekt Red has announced the code names and brief descriptions for 5 new games, including 3 Witcher games, a new Cyberpunk, and a brand new IP. Orion. Here's the first one. Orion. First of all, these names are dope.
I think we should stop after each one because the list is basically just here's what the 5 new things are.
Okay.
So because I'm very excited. I know you're not a Cyberpunk dude, but a lot of people like Cyberpunk and Witcher, so I think we could talk about each.
Cool. Here's the first game. It's Orion, the first dope code name. This is a quote from CD Projekt Red, a code name for our next Cyberpunk game, which will take the Cyberpunk franchise further and continue harnessing the potential of this dark future universe. Orion will be developed by a brand new CD Projekt studio set up in the U.S. The CD Projekt Red CFO, Pyotr Nielubowicz, said that he expects 350 to 500 developers will be necessary to create the game. It's also creating a brand new, primarily Boston-based studio for Orion, which will combine with its current Vancouver office and be known as CD Projekt Red North America. Pause. This sounds like it will be kind of the next big entry in the Cyberpunk 2077 franchise. Or maybe, do you think this is going to be related to that game? Like, is it even going to be 2077 or 2078? Get it? Haha. Or is this going to be just like something completely different in that Cyberpunk universe?
I expect it to be related. I don't know about a direct sequel, like with those characters and all that, but I definitely expect it to, it will be called 2078. I don't know. I need to go read the RPG books to figure out what the sequel to 2077 would be, I suppose. But no, I definitely think it's going to be a continuation. And the team that they're talking about building, they're talking about, coming to North America and making it. There's also people from Poland working on it, so it's going to be the same size team or a little bit bigger. So yeah, it'll be some kind of continuation, maybe a different area or whatever. We'll figure it out. Orion is awesome. I mean, all these code names are great. But good, because again, a rough launch on the old systems. There's no doubt about that. Can't, ignore that. But I really like the game. And them having more time and like figuring out those bugs so it launches in a good state instead of waiting a year to be in a good state would be awesome. And I like that world. I like the cyberpunk aesthetic, and I like CD Projekt's games. So I think more time in the oven and working off that feedback would probably be good for it.
Yep. What is CD Projekt Blue?
That cannot be a real thing.
No, it is. It's I'm trying to remember like whether do they do board games? It is so CD Projekt.
It's like different divisions of that company, maybe?
Yeah, so CD Projekt Red, and then there's hold on, let me just do a Google or a find.
And ask Jeeves.
Oh. GOG? What? Hold, please.
Oh, they do own GOG.
So income from GOG.com, known internally as CD Projekt Blue, accrues to CD Projekt Red. Interesting. Okay, so they just call
that's what they internally call their stuff.
CD Projekt Blue, and then CD Projekt Red actually develops shit. Interesting. Okay, because I was looking at the name and I was like, I know CD Projekt Blue is a thing. I don't know what it means. I know CD Projekt Red is a thing, and then why is this one Red North America?
Yeah, that's like Valve. They have Steam, and then they used to have a video game company, but they don't anymore. So it's just Steam now. That thing,
Yeah.
same idea.
Interesting. Cool. Next game, Polaris, Papa John's, a code name for the next installment in the Witcher series of games, which we recently announced was in pre-production. Not we. I'm reading a quote. We did not announce this. CD Projekt Red did. It's the beginning of a new saga. We aim to release 2 more Witcher games after Polaris, Papa John's, creating a new AAA RPG trilogy. The full trilogy is intended to be released, quote, in a 6-year period. Ooh. More quotes from Polaris, Papa John's. We are preparing technology. This is the first project to be released in the new engine, Unreal 5, so there is a need for some extra work making this technology, he said. For this project, for sure, we need some extra effort to deliver. So brand new Witcher trilogy coming from CD Projekt Red, which is interesting. We know from the last series of games that, like, Geralt is not going to be the protagonist in the new games, right? We know that.
I would assume not, because we had the teaser for Witcher 4, which is, I don't know why they called it Polaris, because we know that 4 is a thing. This is 4. And I believe that the medallion in that is of a different class than he is. So I think it would probably be a new character. I guess you could continue with Geralt, but probably not, is the whole thing. It's just like, it seems like that's done and over with. But it's cool that we're getting a trilogy out of this.
Yeah.
On Unreal Engine 5, because give me more of those games.
Yeah, what I'm most interested in about this is that they are developing 3 games not in concert, like they're developing 3 at a time, but they have an idea for 3 games, and obviously how they would probably want a trilogy to roll out. They're using an engine that is pretty universal, Unreal Engine 5, so they don't have to deal with their own proprietary technology. So what I'm excited about is this trilogy of things coming very quickly in succession after the first one comes out, so that we're not left with, several years between games, which sounds exciting to me.
Yeah, I remember the time between 2 and 3 was pretty big, because 2 initially was only PC, but eventually came to, I think it was the 360 generation. But that was like a couple years after it had already been on PC, and then we didn't get Witcher 3 until the beginning of the next generation. So it was like,
and we're even still waiting on the Witcher 3 next gen ports, right?
They said by the end of the year. We're in October, but they swore it up. Recently, like a week ago, they're like, no, it's still coming by the end of the year. So
okay.
We'll see.
We're not done with The Witcher because Canis Majoris, a full-fledged Witcher game, separate to the new Witcher saga starting with Polaris. It will be developed by an external studio headed by experienced developers who have worked on past Witcher games. It's not currently clear which developer is working on this project. So this is more Witcher. Sounds like it's a single game, not part of this trilogy. This, I feel like, since it's also being, given to another studio, external developer outside of CD Projekt Red, this, I feel like, is maybe a different genre of games set within the Witcher universe. That maybe CD Projekt Red is like, we don't have a lot of experience with this genre, but we're going to contract this out to a studio who can just take our IP and make it really great in this space. I think about maybe like the Gwen card game, although I'm sure this will probably be a little bit more full-fledged than, it says full-fledged Witcher game, so it'll be a little bit more fleshed out than a card game. But that's what I get from this, is that it's a different genre, different take on something in the Witcher universe from a studio who's more experienced in whatever that genre might be.
Yeah, when I was just looking it up, because I remember I'd played it, there's a game called Thronebreaker, which was developed by CD Projekt Red, but it was like a side story in the same world, but you didn't play as Geralt. And the gameplay was Gwent, but then you had you would walk around the world and do story stuff. And you were like playing Gwent to play out I think Thronebreaker is what it's called. So maybe it's that kind of idea where it's like, it's connected, but it's not a Geralt thing. It's just something else in that world, which could be cool. I mean, yeah, if you give me a cool, interesting idea, I'm not going to be mad about it.
Or, wait a minute, pause. We talked about Polaris, how it's going to be like almost definitively another character other than Geralt. What if they're using this as like another Geralt game? Like we as CD Projekt Red, we're moving forward with a different trilogy of things, but we know you all love Geralt. Netflix loves Geralt, and we're not going to just abandon that character and that IP. So we'll take some people from an external developer who have worked on Geralt games in the past and just let them make something. Kind of like Ubisoft, not Ubisoft, like WB Montreal. How we're like, we're going to continue making these Batman games. We're just going to let someone else make it for us.
Y'all love the Batman. Think about this. The Witcher, Geralt stay out. Remember that fucking movie? Was it fucking Dunstan's? Oh, Baby's out. Dunstan's
checks in. Baby goes out for a day.
Okay, I get, there's movies in the 90s where it's like the baby's on an adventure, the monkey's in a hotel on an adventure, fucking all kinds of wild shit.
We were obsessed with monkeys for a while.
Yeah.
There was Dunstan Checks In, there was Born to Be Wild, there was MVP, Most Valuable Primate, there was Mighty Joe Young. The 90s and the early 2000s were just big on monkeys.
Yeah. And then Nope came out. It was like, oh, there we go. That's what the first 10 minutes of Nope are about that exact thing. It's pretty good.
We have 2 more games here to mention. Actually a few more games. Sirius, spelled like Sirius, like the XM radio. Quote, a code name for the game developed by the Molasses Flood, which are the creators of The Flame in the Flood and Drake Hollow, set in the Witcher universe and created with support from CD Projekt Red. It will differ from our past productions, offering multiplayer gameplay on top of a single-player experience, including a
You in the studio over here.
Including a campaign with quests and a story. Sirius is, quote, definitely not a smaller game and definitely not a mobile game, according to Nowakowski, who said it's instead targeted towards people who are interested in the Witcher franchise, but not necessarily in playing a hardcore role-playing game like previous entries. It won't be an open world game, Kaczynski added. This is the one that interests me most because I think the open worldness of CD Projekt Red's games is what turns me off. But I do enjoy the world of The Witcher and like the magic and all that kind of shit. So like, I think this is the one of all of these games that I'm most excited for.
Yeah, could be really cool. I just kind of gave me an idea. Well, we're going to keep going through it. But this whole drop reminds me of, in Venomoth in the chat, you can remind me of how this goes. But I remember when Riot was like, hey, we're going to make a bunch of shit. People were like, okay, League of Legends people. And then Arcane came out. People were like, oh, that shit's hot as fuck. But then they have a fighting game coming out. They had a turn-based RPG come out recently. Like, they're just like, hey, we're going to make a bunch of stuff based on League of Legends, but are completely different genres and completely different things. And everyone was like, okay. But then all that shit came out and was all 10 out of 10. People were like, all right, I'll shut the fuck up forever. So I get the similar feeling where they're like, hey, Witcher's cool. People like The Witcher. Let's give it to different people, give it to different teams with different ideas. Because like you said, Witcher 3 is great, but it is definitely a 100-hour RPG. But like, I don't know. And instead of playing League of Legends, how about, this fighting game? Like that idea of here's the IP. That's what's interesting and popular in our characters. Let's do something else with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what this is. But Flame of the Flood's really cool. Drake Hollow I played for a little bit, but yeah, that's definitely more of a cartoony, like feel-good-ish kind of a thing. So yeah, if it's a Witcher adventure where, maybe it's smaller and whatever, that could be fun too.
I think the League of Legends is a really good analog for this. I had thought about it when they announced it. They're like, hey, we've got a new trilogy of Witcher games. We've got another Witcher game, and then we've got another Witcher game. And I was like, this feels like the Assassin's Creed announcement from last month, where like we literally have like 7 Assassin's Creed games in the thing, and here how they're all different. But I think you're right. This is a little bit more of that League of Legends thing. We're just gonna make a bunch of shit with this IP.
Because the difference there is, I love Assassin's Creed, so I'm not gonna be mad. But they're all similar games, right? Yeah. You're gonna play open world. You're gonna stab people and do all that stuff. Sometimes it's RPG, sometimes it's not. But this, has like League of Legends has the potential to be like, oh, let's just make something weird, like Gwent. The fact that they made a Gwent game, it's like, hey, there's a card game you can play in the game if you feel like it, and that became its own fucking thing. Yeah, doesn't they get crazy?
We're not done, though. Hadar? Papa John's.
Hadar.
A code name for a third entirely distinct IP created from scratch within CD Projekt Red. The project is in the earliest stages of the creative process, which means we are not developing any game yet, but working exclusively on the foundation for this new setting. So this is something we're not going to see for a long time, but it's going to be more delicious goodness in terms of we're now going to have Witcher, we're now going to have Cyberpunk, and now we're going to have this brand new thingy that gets us all excited for CD Projekt Red shit.
It is fun, or funny, Papa John's, that they're making an original IP, because yeah, Cyberpunk was, like I said, it's a tabletop role-playing game. It's been around for a while. The Witcher, again, based on a bunch of Polish books, written whenever nerds wrote books. So yeah, they've literally made an entire studio based off of, we're going to take from these other popular IPs, and it just worked out for them because no one ever heard of the fucking Witcher before the game. I mean, of course, librarians and book nerds heard about it before. Good for you. Most people had never heard of the Witcher before the video games and the Netflix show. So them being like, hey, we've created our, built our house on this. Now let's do our own thing. Could be good. Original IP is never a bad idea. It might not always work out, but the idea of let's do something different is never a bad idea.
Yep. The last note here in this story is, in a separate release, the company also said that it's, quote, adding multiplayer to the majority of future projects. This also marks the first time that we've learned that the Witcher trilogy will not be the only new game set in that universe. So multiplayer is coming to a bunch of stuff, which I feel like as a gaming industry, we've learned our lesson, in the old Mass Effect 3 times where they were shoehorning multiplayer into every single thing. Like, you could not sell a game without multiplayer. And then you also, if you bought a game used, you had to pay the $10 for the online pass because they needed you to access the multiplayer. Like, hopefully we've learned enough from that these multiplayers aren't going to be just like, we're going to shoehorn it into everything. It's just going to be good.
Yeah. Now, before I respond to that, Seems like you've gone robot and the Twitch chat has gone down, so maybe we go to hold slot.
Yep. Oh, Twitch seems like it might be back up. Am I still robot-y?
Yeah, you are, for me.
Sweet. All right, going to hold slide. Be right back. BRB. TTYL. LMFAO. BYOB. Hey, if you work at Comcast, everyone listening out there, can you just turn to your neighbor and slap them right in the face? And then if you work at an internet company in the Bay Area here called Sonic, can you turn to your coworker and say, put it at Chad's address? Why don't we have service at Chad's address yet? Thank you. That's it. So back to Witcher, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, all sorts of cool new things coming from the Witcher universe in hopefully many different ways. CD Projekt Red, brand new IP, lots of good stuff coming from that company.
I'm excited.
Any last things you want to talk about?
No, it's just good to see, man. I want to see new stuff, especially in those universes. So, and yeah, very good.
We're then going to move out of our main quest, and we're going to pop the top of this Mountain Dew Voodoo 2022 mystery fruity flavor.
It's 100% sour fucking...
Oh, yeah. It's just a whole bag of Sour Patch Kids.
That's all it is. Yeah, it's great. Sour citrus. Very good.
We both have so much on this playtime today. We're talking about what we played this week.
So many.
Take me to Sequel City, Adam. Hold on. Wait. Pause. Before we start talking.
Yes.
I know part of what you played is Destiny 2.
Uh-huh.
I want to avoid the situation. I don't want to turn this into your Mr. Robot. And what I mean by that is there's a show called Mr. Robot.
Yeah, I'm
that
aware.
Holden loved. He loved that show so much that he got excited when I started to watch it, and then his excitement ruined it for me. So if I start to be overbearing with my excitement, tell me to back the fuck off. Okay. Adam,
it's like me with Inscription, right? When I was like, hey, just play it. I'm not going to say nothing. Just
you
play
did
it.
the perfect thing with Inscription. You're just like, yeah, just play it. Might be game of the year.
Been doing it with Immortality for weeks, but here we are.
I'll play it. I promise. Okay. So now, Adam, tell me about what you played this week in any particular order.
I'll go ahead and start with Destiny 2. Yes, Chad, I did play it. I re-downloaded Destiny 2 because I was like, all these fucking nerds over at the RAF pack keep playing one fucking video game, and that's all they fucking play. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and download it because. So you asked me before, but you're like, don't tell me any details. But yes, I have played Destiny 2 before.
Okay.
I played Destiny 2 when Beyond Light came out, and all of it went on Game Pass, all the content, right?
Yeah.
It's like cool. Downloaded Destiny, started playing Beyond Light out there in the cold place with that dude with the bug guy with missing arms. What's his name? By the way,
he's got many arms.
Yeah, but he's missing a couple of them. Yeah. Same voice actor from Star Wars Clone Wars and literally does it in Clone Wars too. His character.
Yeah.
That guy. So I got through that and I was having a good time, but I ran into the problem where Destiny 2, for no matter how fun it is not a single player game.
Yeah.
And I was playing and going through Beyond Light, and I was just like, but I'm not having fun. I was having fun until I got to I was just like, hey, go to this other place and then do the thing. And I was going through the story, and I was like, didn't know what was happening with the story. And I was just like, you know what, I'll do this later, and then never played it again. So this time I came back with the full intent of playing it with other people, because I'm like, that's literally how you have to play the game. Like, that'd be like if I loved PUBG or Apex, but you only played solos, and you're like, this game sucks. I'm like, well, you're not fucking supposed to play solos. So I get it. So I did come back in. I only have the base game now, because Beyond Light was Game Pass, which has now come off of Game Pass. So I just had the base game, but I'm just doing all the basic stuff I can do. Everything that's free that I can do right now. And waiting for some of the boys and the ladies to be free so I had to do some strikes. What's the 3-player stuff?
With 3-player options we have are strikes. There's dungeons.
Yeah.
You can play Gambit with up to 4 people, Crucible with up to 6 people.
Oh, I'm not playing any Crucible.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Joel in the chat says dungeons, !
We can do it. That's fine, Joel. But yeah, basically I got to the point where it's like, hey, let me play a little bit of the game, try to get some gear and stuff, because I don't want to, go in fucking... That's my only problem with the game, was I'm going to be so fucking far behind. And the MMO-ness of it means I need to grind for this piece of gear that it will become obsolete when the next season comes out. But I can still have fun right now if I have people to play with me. I don't care about getting all the gear. I just want to play and have fun. So I am now 1540. I feel like that's good enough to do most of the content. So I'm going to start playing with some friends whenever they give me a chance. But yeah, I was just knocking on the base stuff. And again, I love the game. The game's fun to play. I just didn't like the MMO-ness, but the point of an MMO is to play with multiple players. So I'm going to do that now. We're going to have a good time.
Let me see. So there's the problem that we run into now is that some of this stuff is gated behind different expansions that you have to buy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm just looking at all the things that were not required expansion. I already know what requires and what doesn't, because it tells you very much. You need Beyond Light, you need Shadowkeep, you need this to play this.
Yeah.
So I'm very aware of what
Prophecy Dungeon is one we can do from the tower. JK Games Podcast in the chat says the clan is here to help Adam, and I know for a fact Jerica loves the Prophecy Dungeon.
Cool.
She tried to solo it. I don't know if Jerica, tell me in the chat if you were successful in soloing that dungeon. I know it was giving you some trouble, that final boss. So yeah, we can play some Prophecy Dungeon. We can play Vault of Glass is open to everyone.
Okay.
Joel says if you're playing on Xbox, you can get a sick deal on all the DLC.
That's what I'm saying. I want to buy a pack that just gives me all the DLC for cheap. Because right now it's like you can buy like 2 or 3 packs together, but then if I win everything, it's like over $100. I don't want to spend over $100 for this shit.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'll buy the next one, the new one, when it comes out, so we can all play
Lightfall.
But I don't want to pay $100 for old shit so I can maybe play a dungeon. Like, I'm not going to play this game hardcore like you guys, but I will jump on and play with you guys. So I just want to. I'm balancing that cost proposition. But no, I'm all in, and I'm going to start playing. Whenever y'all want to play, I can be on.
Dope. Let's do something this week. Let's get you in the Prophecy Dungeon this week.
Sure, whatever.
I know, and here's the thing for the future. Joel loves weddings.
I know.
Joel
right?
always at weddings. Always needs a fill-in because he's at a wedding. And for the next month, he's got his own wedding. So we're gonna need a new Joel. We're always looking for Neils because we got babies out the ass now.
Yeah, everyone's got babies.
So yeah, we're gonna need some Neils. Neils are fill-ins. They are people whose names aren't important enough yet because they aren't a solid part of the group for life. So we call them Neil because I can't devote the brain power to remembering their real names. So you start as a Neil. If you come in occasionally, you might be an Alex. An Alex is a person who came in as a Neil but immediately proved themselves, and I remembered their name. Yeah. And then you can graduate from Alex to Joel, which is like you're a solid person, you're just not there all the time.
Can I
and then
just
eventually
skip
you become
over Joel?
an Audrey. You can skip over Joel and become an Audrey if you become perfect in every way.
Oh, okay. I just won't be gone for so many weddings. I love that that's the joke that we make, that Joel's gone for about 20 weddings a year. But
it's also not false. Joel is always at weddings all the time. Joel, right now you're in the chat. Tell me the last time you were at a wedding, and I guarantee you it's going to be within the last 6 hours.
That's fucking funny. But yeah, what about you? Also did Destiny 2 on yours, so we can go to yours and then go back to mine.
Yeah, so we jumped into the Kingsfall raid last night, and I didn't tell you this, but the reason we're doing this in the afternoon is because we're finishing the final boss of the Kingsfall raid tonight after everyone gets off work. So, yeah, it's real fun. This is the first time that all 6 of us have been together again since, I think it was July 22nd. So it's been like 2.5 months. Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's good. I enjoy their company. Great time. But that shows you that we've still raided a lot in the last 2.5 months, and we've just been relying on Neils. So Adam, you can be our new Neil or Alex or Joel.
I can be the new Neil. You know what really upsets me? Because Chad, everyone knows on the podcast. Everyone knows. What are the 2 things that I love, Chad?
You love pirates
and cowboys. Yep. Yes, pirates and cowboys. And right now, that seasonal whatever, the water plunder, fucking like, it's fucking pirates.
Yep.
Like, am I going to pay for the season pass to get some pirate gear? I don't know. Maybe I will. I'm very interested.
Hit up Joel. Joel, send Adam a DM on Twitter and let him know about your DLC hookup.
Yeah, send me this
Xbox.
deal you got, because I'll buy a season pass or a DLC or whatever.
And here's the thing. What is it? We can turn it into content. Days? We got Patreon money.
It works. Because we got what is it? The next one's not for like 60 days plus the Lightfall. Whatever.
We have like 57 days until the next season, but Lightfall comes in February.
Oh yeah, so I got 60 days to get pirate stuff. Yeah, let's figure this out, Joel. After you get back from your wedding that you're tired from because you went on one this morning. He said that in the chat, not me. So Destiny 2. Do you want to do the rest of my stuff now?
Yeah. Talk to the rest of your
All
stuff.
sequels, by the way. There's only one thing in here that's not a sequel. Everything else is a sequel I play this week. So the C2 here, I put D2, C2 back to back. That's almost a Star Wars droid. But Chivalry 2, I played that.
Oh, okay.
It's on Game Pass. What a wonder. This is why we got into Destiny, because I started playing Chivalry 2, which for those who don't know, it's a medieval battle multiplayer game where you get either 8 people or up to 64 people on 2 different teams doing medieval warfare. So it's all like, I'm a dude with a halberd, I'm a dude with a pike, I'm a sword, I'm an archer, blah, 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 I'm a knight. And it's just a very... The tone is silly, but it's very violent. Like, you can literally...
Yeah.
I think it's called just a flesh wound, like you lose an arm, and you can still be alive for like 15 seconds and try to kill people. But it's an awesome, like... you play objectives and go back and forth and it's different teams. And it's wonderful. It's very good. I'm like, Chivalry 2 was fucking awesome. Yeah, man. Going there. I've been leveling up my archer. So I went from archer to crossbowman. And I'm just headshotting people left and right, baby. I'm just bam with the crossbow. But then they run up on me and I die immediately. And the last character class, it takes me back to playing Battlefield, back when Battlefield was good. And you could just like everyone level up your classes and have a good time playing objectives. The last one's a javelin thrower. So I'm just running up at people. You can stab them from far away, and they're like, ah, shit. And then you just throw it at their head, and it stabs through 3 people. That's fucking great. Chivalry 2 is wonderful. It's on Game Pass. If you like silly knights in armor fighting each other, go for it. I would highly recommend it.
I think I played through the beta of that. Like, they had an open beta a long time ago. And Dallas was like, let's all play Chivalry. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And I played through it. And it was like, oh, the combat was kind of slow. Or maybe it was only the tutorial I was able to play or something like that. But... Cool.
It wants you to play it slow, but you don't have to. Again, it depends. Okay. Like if you play with a pike or a halberd or whatever, you just stabbing people from far away. Like you're just like, But it's all very much block, parry, riposte. Or if you just like me, just pull out a little dagger and just stab, and go at people. So that's whatever you really want to do. But then after Chivalry 2, which I recommend everyone plays, Red Dead Redemption 2, because again, what I love, Pirates and Cowboys.
You love Pirates and Cowboys.
All about it. Keep going through that. Just trying to do all the hunting stuff. God, what is TWW3? I hate when I do this. Put it in there.
The Wild West 3?
No, it's not the Wild West 3, even though that would make sense. So I'm going to click on a thing. But until I figure out what that is, the one thing I did not play, that was a sequel, was Family Feud.
Okay. Nice.
It is a very corny, very bad Ubisoft game.
Yep.
But I'm like, I'm just here for the quiz. Give me the Family Feud quiz. Me and my son, he wanted to play some Family Feud, so that's what we did. We played Family Feud.
I don't know what your experience with Family Feud was this week, but I played it with some coworkers a couple weeks ago as part of like a team building event. And the answers seemed like they were made before cell phones existed.
This game came out in 2020, so there was some modern stuff. The thing about Family Feud, you have to remember this. I do the same thing with Game Awards. You have to remember who your audience is. It can't be like, well, this would be my answer. No. It's 100 random idiots. What would idiots think this answer is? And that is always the answers. It's like, what does a moron think? The lowest common denominator. That's how you have to play the game.
Yeah. Can I tell you, I don't know. Here's the category. Things you might get upset that your dog ate. Homework. That's the category. Homework was in there. Work, schoolwork, whatever it was. That was in there. Guess what wasn't? Just throw some things out. Throw some things out.
Chocolate.
Chocolate was not in there. Shoes were not in there. No.
I don't know, but what was the thing that...
Here's the thing that blew my mind. The thing that made me think that, that it's created before cell phones existed, is cords, electronics, cables, none of that was in there. Oh, and that was like we had a chance to steal. There was one left, and I was like, it's got to be this. Guess what it was? Fucking money. Like, dogs don't eat your money. No one carries cash. And again, the dog doesn't say, oh, look at that wallet. I'm going to pull the credit card out of it and eat it.
Eat that bad boy.
No.
But you have to remember, though, when you look at that, because that's probably what, the 5th or 6th out of 6?
It was like the 3rd thing on the 6th.
Because normally it's like 70, and then it's like 20-something, and then it's like 2 people. It's like, oh, so there's 2 fucking morons who said dog ate money because they're fucking stupid. But no, money I would not have guessed.
Have you seen the Sunny in Philadelphia episode with Family Feud?
No, not yet.
Oh, it's fantastic. Charlie knows all the answers. The last answer on the board is always one person said it's 1 point. And he's like, oh, yeah, some random guy on the street asked me all these things. And so I answered, like, Dayman.
Oh, he's the dude. He's the idiot.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite episodes.
And the last one, the TWW3, was Total War Warhammer 3.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It reviewed very well, came out this year. And yeah, it's an excellent RTS. It's very cool. You got to like flank and do all your stuff. It's very nerdy, very, war gamey, but it was very good. And finally, I've had it downloaded on my PC for about 7 months, and I finally booted it up. But there we are. That's everything.
Love it. I played Destiny 2. We just talked about it. Zelda 2. We've already talked about that at the top of the show. Go look at that. Barf, that is now up on podcast services. What?
It's just funny.
Just
just
the
laugh
chat right now. Look at the chat right now. I missed the context. Oh, tampon. Things you might be upset if a dog ate. Got it. Tampon. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, why the fuck is tampon in our chat right now?
I just thought it was like the pee pee poopy thing where someone always says and you laugh no matter what. I'm like, is tampon also a thing Chad laughs at no matter what?
No. Okay.
But yes,
okay.
if a dog ate a tampon, that would not be great.
Yeah. I assume in a household with women living in it, that's a lot more of a concern than it is in my household. I don't know. If Atreus ate a tampon in my house, I'd be like, where the fuck did that tampon come from?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Zelda 2, Destiny 2, and SFPF. Which one do we want? I'll start with PF.
Small forward, power forward.
No.
These are basketball positions?
No. Let's start with PF. This is a game. It is it's like rhythm. It's a rhythm game with some pretty dope music. It's all played with the face buttons on your PlayStation controller. It's a game called Pickle Fun.
Oh, you playing these shitty fucking platinum games, aren't you? You're a madman. You and Cozy, I don't get it.
It's a game called Pickle Fun. It's just a dancing pickle on the screen doing this while some licensed royalty-free music. You hit the X, square, triangle. It doesn't matter what you fucking get. It's literally after about 30 seconds of pressing buttons, you get a platinum trophy.
Yeah. Pickle Fun, huh?
I played Pickle Fun. It was $2.99 on the PlayStation Store. Then this other game here, it's another incredible rhythm game called Sushi Fun. It's just a piece of sushi.
Dude, the same animation, huh?
Same animation. Also $3 on the PlayStation Store. About 30 seconds for a platinum trophy. But the reason that I bought those games and played those games was not for the platinum trophy necessarily, Adam, but it was for PlayStation Stars. We've talked about PlayStation Stars a little bit in like the launch of I think last week you were like, what the fuck is PlayStation Stars? It launched this week in North America, and there's a little bit more to it that they never really talked about, which is interesting. But it is, so I bought those for PlayStation Stars, which is a rewards program. A loyalty program for PlayStation. Not only do you get shitty, stupid trophies, or not trophies, but not NFTs collectibles that you can put on your shelf.
Collectibles.
That they all most of them look so stupid that I don't even care about, but I do care about them. We'll get to that in a second. But you earn points, and you earn coins, and you earn rank, and the coins you get can also be redeemed for store credit. And they can also be redeemed for just like straight up buying games with a selection of games with those coins. Like Cult of the Lamb is on there for, I think it's like 6,000 coins, and I have like 1,500 right now. So in that respect, it's very similar to like the Xbox Game Pass Quest system.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, where you can eventually just like get free Game Pass if you played enough. You can kind of do a similar thing. You can get enough PlayStation rewards points in order to like get some credit in. But there's a level system right now, and I think it goes up to level 4 right now. We talked about last time where in Japan it gets you priority access to support, which is you can have feelings about what that is and how good it is. And anyway, to level up, you need to do two things. You need to buy digital games as well as earn rare trophies. And so buying digital games is not retroactive. So it doesn't say, oh, Chad, you've bought thousands of PlayStation games over the years. I now need to buy more. So I went in there like, what's cheap as fuck on the PlayStation Store right now to buy? Turns out Pickle Fun and Sushi Fun were $2.99 each. So I was using those to increase my level on there. But surprisingly enough, the trophies are retroactive. So they look back and see how many rare trophies you have. I don't have enough trophies to get me to level 3 or 4. I'm stuck at level 2 right now, which is, you have to specifically get the rare trophies, which are ones that people... not everyone who plays this game gets these trophies all the time. Yeah. So that's why I bought those things. But I will let you know, this kind of relates to Destiny. these stupid collectibles, Adam. The missions that they're giving you. So like for the next 30 days or something like that, you can go in there and there are like there's a mission to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter by doing a Hadouken or something like that. And what that actually means is here's a list of 4 games. Play any of these games to unlock this collectible. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It gets me to play something that I wouldn't necessarily have played otherwise. And then there's I forget what they call it. It's like a really rare or unique challenge. They call it something specific, but it's like a little riddle. And so they're like, hey, these 5 or 6 games, or these 5 or 6 clues, each one is a game from a C.1994 song. I don't know what that is, C.1994. So I just straight up looked up the solution to all of these things. But they're games that are these clues lead you to. So in order to get this collectible of this weird Sony, whatever the fuck it is, you have to go play each of these games and just literally just open it up. So the solution was like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Death Stranding. There were 2 other ones on there too. But anyway, so you have to go play these things. And this is where I was like, oh God, I'm into this because it's a collectathon. It is bounties. It is Destiny bounties where it's just like, hey, shoot 15 people with a fusion rifle. And I was like, fuck. It's easy enough to do that it's not like I have 30 days to do it. Why not do it if it gets me this stupid thing on my wall? But also it's like I wouldn't have done it otherwise. So I'm conflicted on how I feel with it. I'm addicted to it already. And it is heavily marketing PlayStation Premium subscription, PlayStation Plus Premium, because one, you have to own all of these games in order to play them. I happened to own all 6 of those games already because they were like Sony first party or something like that, or exclusives. But in order to just play them, if you have the premium subscription, you can stream them. So you just click on it, pop into the game, play it for a second, pop out. I had to actually re-download all of these games too, which sucked. Oof. So,
heads up, by the way. You do that on Xbox all the time for like the weekly challenge. It's like, play this game. Like, how about I launch a cloud version for 2 seconds and then exit out and it still pops? How about that?
Yep.
That's great.
So that's what I wish I could do with the games that I already own, but no, I have to pay for an extra thing so that I can stream them for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the weird quirk about it is like, you have to play Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. But specifically, you have to play the PS4 version. You can't play it in the PlayStation 5 like legacy version that they just released. You have to play the PS4 version, which I guess is part of the premium streaming.
Yeah, it's on there anyways. Yeah. Okay.
So PlayStation Stars, interesting, cool, has more to it. I'm addicted to it. I don't know if I love it. That's it.
All right, cool.
Also, if anyone is doing it, you actually have to go activate it. Like, you have to opt into PlayStation Stars in the PlayStation app. And then it starts accruing things. So don't go buy Sushi Fun or Pickle Fun until you've activated that in the app. Otherwise, they won't at all. Oh, and there's also a challenge out right now. It's like, buy one of these games on the PlayStation Store. And I already owned 1 or 2 of them, and they didn't count because I had already bought them. So I had to buy another one. So I paid $70 for The Last of Us Part 1 just so I can unlock this stupid collectible I didn't want.
Not $200?
No. Although Matt did say over voice chat last night, he's like, tell Adam I'll pay $3,000 or whatever it was for any of these games coming.
How about you give me $3,000 and I'll give you Last of Us Part 1? I can do that.
All right, let's jump into our quest log. We've got a few quests here to chat about, starting with the Mario trailer is here, y'all. It comes from Logan Plant at IGN. Woohoo! Revealed in a Nintendo Direct and New York Comic-Con panel today. Logan Plant's not talking about today, Monday, October 10th. He's talking about today, the day that he wrote the article.
Yes, absolutely.
The trailer begins with a look at a floating Bowser Island making its way to a penguin kingdom before Kamek, the little magic Koopa, introduces Jack Black's Bowser. The penguins attempt to fight by throwing snowballs at the Koopas and Bowser before the King Koopa destroys the gate to the city to find one of the franchise's most iconic superstars. We then cut to Mario, who gets shot out of a warp pipe into the Mushroom Kingdom, where he's greeted by Keegan-Michael Key's Toad, who is like, he's the goat of this trailer, Toad is. Pratt's Mario doesn't say much besides, what is this place? And Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. And I said those all without any affectation on my voice because so did Chris Pratt.
No.
He did not try to do any kind of Mario voice. But those two lines do mark our first time hearing Chris Pratt's take on Mario. The trailer ends with a quick shot of Luigi getting chased by a group of dry bones. I'm very pleased with this trailer, Adam. How did you feel about it?
I was hyped. So here's the thing. Illumination makes, I think, very good. First of all, beautiful. Fucking looks great. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Love that
it looks
animation.
gorgeous. This is the studio behind the Despicable Me and Minions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And they just make, again, beautiful looking movies, and they're very fun. They're definitely aimed at kids, but it's always like a fun. It's that, God, I don't want to bring it up, but like Shrek. Well, not, it's one of those where it's like for kids and adults. It was like Shrek was definitely for teenagers, and that's it, and nobody else. It's fucking wonderful. But no, it's definitely that. You can go watch it with a kid and have fun, or just watch it on your own, and there's jokes for you, and it's a fun time, but it's not over the top or too complicated. So yeah, I was all about it. Looked great. I loved all the voice cast. I don't care, Chad. It was all very good. I love seeing Charlie Day at the end. Luigi getting chased by dry bones. Looks like a Luigi's Mansion or some shit. But no, I was all about it, and I liked all the voices, like you said. And I don't hate Chris Pratt's voice because it's just Chris Pratt from fucking New York, and Mario is from New York. You know, it was very divisive. People were like, "That's just Chris Pratt," and other people were like, "It sounds like." Someone brought up the Mario Super Show, where the live action version were just fucking dudes from New York. So it's all over the place. I'm fine with it. If Chris Pratt's New York accent is the most issue that I have with the movie, then the movie's gonna be fucking fine. He'll be all right.
Yeah. So. Here's the thing about it. Like Chris Pratt, he's whatever as an actor, but he does not sound anything like Mario, and I think that's okay because of where it seems like the movie's going. He gets shot out of a warp pipe. He doesn't recognize Toad or any of the Mushroom Kingdom. This 100% looks like a Jumanji. This looks like I am Chris Pratt from New York, and I am now in this tiny Italian plumber's body in a mushroom place. So it makes sense that he wouldn't sound like the actual Mario that we're all used to.
Yep. And isn't the movie called the Super Mario Brothers movie specifically?
I'm
gonna click on this link right here. No, yeah, it's called the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh,
I don't know what that means. I mean, that's just like, that's cool that it's Super Mario Brothers. Just a little thing I thought was fun. I'm excited. Jack Black's great. Me too. It's just as an actor. Charlie Day will be wonderful, even though they break his kneecaps. Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key. It's so funny listening to his Toad because it's great, obviously. But it's similar-ish to Bob's Burgers. He plays a male cheerleader that is a rival to Gene in one episode, and it's the exact same. Because they just like pitch his voice up.
Yeah.
Because he's playing a kid, and it's fucking great. So they reminded me of that.
Before we get to this next story, I do have to let you know, thanks to Joel in the chat, last night we all paused in the middle of the raid to all buy Xbox mini fridges.
Okay.
They were on sale. Wario64 tweeted $55 at Walmart for the Xbox mini fridge.
Shit, I wish I'd known.
Yeah, they might still be that price. Who knows? Go to walmart.com. So yeah, we bought Xbox mini fridges. And I wouldn't have bought it if it was like the size of a mini fridge, but because it's, I don't know, essentially the same size as an Xbox Series X. I've been saying Xbox One mini fridge. It's an Xbox Series X mini fridge. Yeah, because it's so tiny, that's why I bought it. Even though I don't really have anywhere to put it in my living room because I don't really have power outlets in a good place. I bought one. Audrey bought one. Joel already has one. It's like we just gonna have an Xbox mini fridge now. Maybe I'll
put it on the piano.
Yeah, there you go. I'll put it right on the piano there, which is only 10 feet, like
from the real fridge.
From the real fridge, which is right over there. And the piano's. I was like, it's not functionally a good purchase, but I could not buy it at $55
for $50. Come on now.
Yeah. Cool teens get a release date. Coming from Andy Robinson at VGC. Are you a cool teen from Japan? Are you going to school on a portable way or gold? Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden will release for Xbox consoles and Game Pass, PS4, and Nintendo Switch on January 19th, 2023, Atlas has announced. They officially announced back in June that the whole series, which has been missing from Xbox and Switch, will release on the platforms with Persona 5 Royal on October 21st, and now we have dates for the rest of them, which is great. People love those games, all them teens, all them nerds, RPGs, love them. I've never played them, although I have had Persona 4 Golden on my Vita for 1,000 years and have never played it.
Yeah, I am happy to see that the 3 and 4 come on the same day because I was like, are they going to stagger these releases? Give us like 5, 4, and 3 or whatever. But no, they're just all coming out the same day relatively soon. It's good that they're going to be everywhere because that feels like a really good Switch game, especially for, I mean, 4 Golden was made for, it wasn't made for portable, but it feels like it was made for portable just because everyone played it played on PSTV personally, but a lot of people played on their Vita. So the only thing that, again, being on Game Pass is great. I've already got Persona 5 Royal pre-installed. The only reason, so I own Persona 5 Royal on PlayStation, but I didn't bring it up a long time ago because it didn't matter. It was a small thing. You don't get the PS5 upgrade. Because technically I own the PS4 version. I just played on my PS5 because there's not a PS5 version of it yet. They're like, there's no upgrade. So it's like, ooh, spend $70 for a game I already own or play it on Xbox. I guess I'm going to just play it on Xbox.
Yeah.
Just because I want to get that little, I just want the load times, really.
Yeah.
It's kind of upsetting. I was like, why can't you just give me a patch? I already own all the content. I just need it to load faster. Now you got to pay for it. How about you suck? My Persona.
My Persona. PC. Sorry. PS. PC. Plans presented. I see what you did there, Adam. I see what you did. This comes from Haley Williams at Papa John's at GameSpot. In an interview with French gaming YouTuber Julien, it's French, so it's spelled Chieze, but it's probably pronounced like fluff. Julien Fluff. Cheese. Julien Cheese.
I'm Julien Cheese Tabernacle.
Let me copy and paste this from my desktop to my cheese. Herman Hulst was asked about the potential of future PlayStation Studios games launching simultaneously on both PlayStation and PC. This is something that we've speculated a little bit over the last couple of years. This is a quote from Herman Hulst. We as PlayStation Studios have a very symbiotic relationship with the platform, Hulst explained in response. We are often the first developers to try new hardware, to try new controllers. It's been really great for the teams to see their wonderful creations also being released on PC, often with the help of our newly acquired team, Nixie's software, is how I'm going to guess that's pronounced. There are more players, and that's really helpful. I think going forward, we'll see at least a year between releases on PlayStation and on the PC platform. Hulst continued on to explain that there was one type of game that could possibly see an exception to this rule, live service games. Quote, live service games are a little bit different in nature because you want to have a really strong community, strong engagement right when you go live, Hulst explained. We might, in the case of our live service offerings, go day and date with PC and PlayStation. So I think that's a strategy. One, I think we've talked about on this. I feel like there's not a ton of cannibalization by releasing on PC and PlayStation. Like console and PC are such different markets that I think like it's fine to release day and date. But if you want to drive sales to your console, I see, all right, a year of exclusivity. That makes sense if it's like, even if there's an Xbox exclusive game or Deathloop is a PS5 exclusive game for a year, like that makes sense to make sure people are buying a PlayStation system before it releases on PC. But the live service thing I think is interesting because they acquired Bungie recently just for that, and Destiny 2 and their expertise with live service. So obviously that makes sense that these games rely on having a huge community, which is really important. And so releasing those with the most amount of players possible is a really smart idea.
I mean, for live service, you have to. Could you imagine like Fortnite or Destiny being like, we're only going to do one console and we'll come to now that your game wouldn't tank, but it would not be as good as it could be. And again, for live service, more than likely it'll be free to play. So yeah, you're just going to make more money and you have more players for people to play with, which makes someone to play your game. And the 1 year. Oh, go ahead.
Which, interestingly enough, relies on cross-platform play, which Sony like notoriously was like, no, cross-platform play, we got to protect the kids. And now they're like, oh, it's really important for us to build a really big community with PC as well.
What they meant to say is we got to make as much money as possible because it's a business and that's what businesses do, and it's fine. But for the 1 year between the two, again, I'm with you. I don't think it would actually cannibalize anything because PC players are going to play on PC and you still make money. Hey, guess what? When you sell a game on PC, PlayStation still makes money from the sale. But the 1 year is like in case they have investors like, whoa, why are we doing that? Shouldn't we sell our box? They're happy, but then you still make money in the back end, and gamers are still happy because a year It's fine. If I had to wait a year to play God of War and, fucking 5,000 frames a second in 4K because I have a big beefy PC, I think a year is fine. So I think it's all good all around. It's just nice to have it out there, being like, hey, this is what the idea is going to be. Thank you very much, Julian Cheese.
Julian Cheese. Our last... Joel had the same thing. BBPC. I was like, big beefy PC. Yep.
BBPC, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thought that same thing. Next, our last story. How many of them PSVR 2 you got? This comes from Darren Bonthrees at Papa John's as well, a.k.a. GameSpot. Sony apparently has ambitious plans for its next generation of virtual reality hardware, as it plans to have 2 million units of the PSVR headset ready by March next year. Mass production of the virtual reality headset reportedly began in September via Bloomberg and has not yet faced any supply chain constraints. With the PS5 continuing to be in high demand due to its limited availability since it launched 2 years ago in November, Sony also plans to have more console stock on shelves in early 2023, according to Bloomberg's sources. PSVR 2 has yet to receive a date beyond 2023, but Sony is attempting to ensure that there's adequate stock of PS5 consoles available to play games on the new headset. The hardware will only work on PS5 and won't be backwards compatible with PSVR games. Two things about this. One is, I think for context, I saw a tweet. I'm going to try to look this up too at the same time. But for context, I think PSVR 1 sold 1 million units after 2 years. Mm-hmm. Whereas PSVR 2 is now aiming to sell 2 million units pretty quickly if they're aiming to have that by March. And then it took, I think, 5 million units for PSVR 1 in lifetime. Lifetime. And I think that was after about 5 years or something like that. So a little bit of context there for numbers and how much that is compared to the previous generation. But two, I know you and Alex talked about this while I was gone a few weeks ago. The fact that the PS5 versions of these, or the PSVR 2 versions, PSVR 1 games won't be backwards compatible with PSVR 2. And I know you all talked about, like, it's just a new controller and things like that. I think there's a way you have to rework the games because of the inside-out tracking. And, like, the game inherently is looking for colored, floating, stupid orbs on these other controllers. And now we've got to train it to look from different cameras in a different way with different sets of controllers. So, like, there's going to be some developer work in order to make these things. But I think what's probably going to come from this as well in that specific point is that we will see PSVR 2 re-releases of these games. And maybe there'll be like hey, there's a free patch that gets you the PSVR 2 version of this thing if you already own the original. Or there's a $10 upgrade fee if you want to get in on the original. Because they're going to have to do some work in order to make it work on that. Mm-hmm. It's not
I'm fine
just
with that. Specifically me, it's like, I know Beat Saber would work because that's on literally every fucking headset. Inside out, upside down, doesn't matter. So you should be able to give me a version of that for free if I own it. Every other game, I mean, they made so many games that, like, those developers aren't even around anymore. So I could understand part of that.
Yeah, Joel says, I hope so. I have so much money in Beat Saber already. It's like, yeah, me too. I've bought every single pack, and now it's just sitting here collecting dust.
That's one that I really only care about. I don't care about Iron Man. Make Beat Saber work so people can...
there are some games that I feel like will be relatively easy to port. Things like Moss 2 that came out recently this year that, like, nobody's playing because no one's playing their PSVR 1 anymore because it's such a pain in the ass to set up on PS5.
But that's also on Quest.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I feel like anything that's on Quest already, which has inside-out tracking, which has a similar way of moving, of sensing the controllers and stuff like that, I feel like those are going to be pretty easy to port to PSVR 2. It's just anything that's exclusive for PSVR 1 is going to be, they're going to have to take some time to work on that shit.
Yeah. 2 million sounds about right, though, because you did the numbers for the other ones. But since then, again, mentioned it again, Quest seems to have done pretty well. I feel like 2 million feels like a good number for the assumed market that you would have now. Because VR's, basically, let's be honest, like, Meta has made VR more mainstream.
Right.
So, in the time being. So I think that 2 million is probably a good number to start with and see where you go from there.
It'll be interesting to see if they're aiming to have this by March. I assume that March will be the release, if not like Q1
soon after. Yeah.
I think what might make or break this is price point. Like,
we'll see.
What made Meta Like what made the Quest 2 so mainstream is that it was $200. Like you could get the Quest 2 for $200. It now costs $300 because of inflation and supply shortage. But this headset is beefy. It has the highest resolution of any headset that's been out there now. It has OLED technology versus everyone else that's using LCD. Like this is going to be a pricey thing, and I think that might be a turnoff for a lot of people, unless PlayStation wants to take a hit, which I don't know if they do.
They're not going to. Yeah. I guarantee this motherfucker's at least $500.
Yeah. Which I'm okay with. I mean, if you think about everything that wasn't Oculus Quest was like $500 starting point. Sometimes they're $700. Like all of those other headsets, Rift and Rift S and the Valve one, like HTC Vive and yeah, those are all expensive babies, but it's exciting. Hopefully we'll get it soon. That brings us to segment from Adam. Spooky, scary. Boys becoming men. Men becoming wolves.
Okay. By the way, this is a segment from Adam. I need everyone in the chat, if you're just listening, maybe get on your keyboards right now, because potentially your number could get called. We'll see. But we're going to play a little game. Who wants to gain a moderate amount of monetary wealth? Basically, who wants to be a millionaire?
Are you doing your Regis Philbin impression or that woman who took over after he died?
Was it Jane Lynch who took over?
Jane Lynch? No, it was some other blonde woman.
She must be on another TV show. She's on a game show. But I'm not going to do either one because my Regis Philbin impression is an impression of a dead man. So, is he dead? Or am I just making a bad
Regis
joke?
Philbin is dead.
I thought he was dead. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember Regis enough to do an impression of him. I watched Regis and Kelly when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, basically. So I have 5 questions.
Hold, please. Before we get into this game, can I read you the list of hosts from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Oh, fuck. Okay, if I click on this thing, then it brings up the GIFs, and then the audio freaks out. But here's the thing. Regis Philbin, until 2002. Meredith Vieira, which is who I was thinking about, 2002 to 2013. Cedric the Entertainer for a year, from 2013 to 2014.
Man, living his best life.
Terry Crews for a year, from 2014 to 2015. And then there's a Chris Harrison. I don't know who that is, for 4 years. And then Jimmy, and then that's where the Google cuts off, and I can't click on the link anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. Interesting cast list.
Yeah. All right, sorry, continue with your game.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So we're doing this is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I have 5 questions. If you get it wrong, you're done. If you can get up to 5, you will gain, what is it? A moderate amount of monetary wealth. Maybe I'll pass forward $1 on Patreon. Patreon.com/RespawnNameFire, because I have never got off the Patreon, even though I'm a host on the show. So you have lifelines. Everyone knows what these are.
Right.
Lifelines, I have 50-50, so it goes from 4 answers to 2. Phone a friend, which I want you to physically call somebody on the phone and see if they answer and talk to them.
Okay, hold on. One of my
Hopefully
phones
we don't
is being
need to
used.
use this one.
One of my phones is being used as the camera right now. Let me boot up this other phone
Do you have
real quick.
the ability to do this?
I have a second phone. It might need to charge.
Okay, let's not worry about it.
I'm listening. Continue to tell me the rules while I grab a charger.
Okay, no problem. And then the last one is Ask the Audience, which is where you Twitch people come in. If he asks that question and you know the answer to the question, throw it in Twitch chat, and we can help your boy chat out here. Don't look it up. Let's do honor system. Don't look it up on Google and find out the answer. But yeah, I'm going to do from ascending, from easiest to hardest, whatever. By the way, chat, if you have to phone a friend, you can just phone me over Discord in case that phone thing doesn't work.
We'll see.
All right.
Oh, great. It has half battery. Perfect.
Okay, good. This will go from ascending, from easiest to hardest. We have 5 questions. You know, you have 3 lifelines. Who wants to gain monetary wealth? All right. Number 1. In the video game Observation, you play as an AI named what? A. Hal, B. Guilty Spark, C. Sam, or D. Scarlett Johansson?
Okay, I know Guilty Spark. That's 343. That's Halo. I know that. I know Scarlett Johansson is from Her, that movie with what's-his-face McGillicuddy. Mm-hmm. What was the first one? Hal?
Hal.
Yeah, that's 2001: A Space Odyssey, which leaves me with Sam.
Sam.
I don't remember
lock
this
it in?
specifically being the AI, but process of elimination has gotten me there.
All right, is that your final answer? Is that what they said on the show?
That is my final answer.
All right, dramatic music here. It is SAM. It stands for, it's an acronym for something.
Okay.
Something.
Scarlett Johansson's ass muffin.
Wonderful. By the way, before we started, this was a freebie for Chad, because I was like, hey, give me a spooky game that you know. And I asked you asked if the AI from 2001: A Space Odyssey's name was Dave.
No, it's because the line that it's I can't do that, David.
Dave,
I was like,
it does say
okay.
Dave.
That's why I thought that.
And Scarlett Johansson specifically, you mentioned the AI from her, and I just said, well, Scarlett Johansson does the voice, so that works. Anyways, next up, good. You got past number 1. You still have all 3 lifelines. What is the next hardest one? Okay, I'll do this next one. Your next question. Which of these actors was not... oh, by the way, random thing. When I was looking to do my studying for Millionaire, there was a lifeline that was asked the host, and the host doesn't know the answer until it's presented on screen. Like, they don't have the answers there already. It pops up when it pops up for everybody. I mean, of course, they may know it on their own, but it's not like, here's the answer sheet. I didn't know that. It was interesting. But anyways, you're not going to... well, you could phone me. Let's see. Which of these actors was not featured in Until Dawn? So which of these people was not featured in Until Dawn?
Okay.
A, Rami Malek. B, Jordan Fisher. C, Brenda Song. Or D, Hayden Panettiere.
I'm going to ask the audience. So all of you on Twitch right now, audience on Twitch, which one was not featured? Can you read the question again?
Who was not featured in Until Dawn, Supermassive's game for PS4? Rami Malek, Jordan Fisher, Brenda Song, or Hayden Panettiere? So who was not in Until Dawn? I'll give everyone in chat a couple seconds to do that.
While they're typing in chat
talk
here,
us through it.
I know Rami Malek was in it, and I know Hayden Panettiere was in it because she was marketed as like Save the Cheerleader, Save the World, Papa John's. But then I know like Jordan Fisher and Brenda Song were in the new game together, but I don't know which one of them was in the other game.
Interesting.
All right, Venomoth says Fisher. Jordan Fisher was not in that one. Brenda, you know what? I feel like Jordan Fisher would be so young when that game came out, and there were no babies in that game.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Venomoth and say Jordan Fisher was not in Until Dawn.
All right. Final answer? Is that what this is?
There's another person. Adam Gumby says Brenda. Maybe she's awesome. Damn it! But here's the other thing, though, because people were freaking out about Brenda Song being in the new. What's the name of the game that just came out? The Quarry.
The Quarry.
So maybe it's a big deal that she was in it because she hasn't been in a previous game before. Fuck me. This is tough. Can I use... I'm going to use another lifeline on this question as well. I'm going to use the 50-50 to eliminate 2 options. Hopefully it's going to eliminate...
I'm going to roll a D6, or actually I'm going to roll D4 because that has 4 numbers on it. That makes more fucking sense. And I'll get rid of either 1, 2, did it, whatever. So let me roll it. So Jordan Fisher is no longer on the list. And Rami Malek is no longer on the list. So you have Brenda. That was based on a roll.
Okay.
Completely random.
Whew. Okay.
So was Brenda Song or Hayden Panettiere?
Brenda Song. Brenda Song is the correct answer.
Your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Yeah, that was it. Brenda Song was not.
Almost just lost that one.
So the funny thing is, I need to look this up. Jordan Fisher, I just looked at the cast list for the first one. He might also be in The Quarry, but he was definitely in Until Dawn. So maybe they just brought him back. But
Jordan Fisher was in The Quarry. I know that.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember whether he was in Until Dawn or not.
I'm going to look through his filmography real quick because you've gone robot, so I'm going to take 2 seconds to do this.
Okay.
To see. No, I don't think
Oh, yeah, stream is down. We're going to go to a hold site for just a second again. Thank you, Comcast. Go fuck yourselves. All right, we're back. Again, slap your Comcast partner on the face. The anticipation there, right? Woo.
Yeah. It was crazy. But no, you got that one right.
While we were gone during the commercial break, that's what this is. This was a commercial break
Commercial.
during.
Yeah.
While we were gone, it turns out I was confusing Jordan Fisher with Justice Smith. I looked up Jordan Fisher and I was like, I have no idea who the fuck this guy is.
That is not the man that I was speaking of. Yeah. All right, so on to number 3. You've used 2 lifelines, but you're continuing on.
Okay.
Which one is the next hardest one? I want to do this one just because this is Chad. Remember I said the one's really funny to me?
Okay.
This one to me is very funny. I think you'll probably know it too.
Okay.
What is Isaac Clarke's totally alive girlfriend's name in Dead Space? Fucking Dead Space.
Oh, fuck.
Is it Jessica, Nicole, Amanda, or Brittany? Did I give you 4 white women's names? Perhaps.
You 100% did. Oh God, I'm pretty sure this one's Nicole, but Amanda's throwing me off. It's not Brittany. What's the first answer again?
Jessica.
Jessica. It's not Jessica. It's either Nicole or it's Amanda. Here's a fun Easter egg. Actually, I don't know if I want to spoil this or not.
That's why I said she's totally alive.
Okay.
Based on the thing you were probably going to say.
Well, that's okay. So here's another thing. Here's another cool thing. Now that she's totally alive, the chapter names, which I don't know if they're going to have in the new remake because it's all a one shot and there's no break in the camera. Well, the chapter names, the beginning letter of every single thing spells out your girlfriend's name is totally alive.
Totally alive. Yeah.
It's totally alive. Now I'm trying to remember what the. Okay, I'm just gonna fucking. I don't know if I know.
You still have Phone a Friend?
I do have Phone a Friend. I don't know if I know anyone who's played Dead Space. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. Nicole. I'm gonna say it's Nicole.
Final answer?
Final answer.
The lights go up and it's all dramatic. It is Nicole. Very good on you.
Yes.
First instinct was right.
White girl names are all the same.
Yeah, I was so happy to do this. I was like, all right, this is a good one. Just name all the white girl names you possibly could.
Yep.
Should have thrown Jocelyn in there or something. Anyways.
Jocelyn.
It's very good. Okay, so number 4. You're getting close to winning monetary wealth.
Okay.
If you want it, who wants that? You do. Which studio developed 2014's Alien Isolation?
Ooh.
So what studio developed 2014's Alien Isolation? A, Creative Assembly, B, The Chinese Room, C, Capcom, or D, Cold Iron Studios?
Okay. Capcom's a publisher. Although they have like Development Team 1. Like they have stupid names for their development teams. Chinese Room did Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, so they don't do those kind of games. What was the first one again? Creative Assembly?
Creative Assembly.
And what was the last one?
Cold Iron Studios.
Cold Iron Studios. I don't think I've ever heard of Cold Iron Studios, but I feel like I have heard of Creative Assembly, and we recently played Alien Isolation for a barf game, and I feel like you would have said that. So I'm going to say Creative Assembly, final answer.
Final answer is Creative Assembly.
Yes. Okay. Oh, the adrenaline
Chinese
rush.
Room. You said Gone to Rapture. They also did Amnesia, the first one at least. Cold Iron Studios made Alien Fireteam Elite or whatever that shooter multiplayer game is. So threw that one in there. All right, we're on to the last one. Your chance to win some sort of monetary value. Is it $1 million? I don't know. All right. During the Mansion incident in 1998, what organization did Chris Redfield work for? Mansion incident, 1998. What organization did Chris Redfield work for? A, Umbrella USA. B, BSAA. C, Stars Alpha Team. Or D, United States Air Force.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna do what they would often do on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm gonna phone a friend.
Phone a friend even though you know the answer.
FaceTime audio Dallas Smith on speakerphone.
Is Dallas available?
Yeah, it's Columbus Day. He has the day off.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Here we go. Starting FaceTime audio call.
Make sure to turn that up in the headphones.
It's on speakerphone.
Okay, good.
The anticipation. I hope he picks up.
I hope he does too. He might not.
Dallas Smith, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You're on the Respawn Aim Fire game show. Who wants to win a modern amount of wealth?
I can't hear him, by the way.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, okay. Adam can't hear you, but it doesn't matter because all I did is I used my phone a friend lifeline to call and tell you that I'm about to win $1 million. I'm sorry, I'm about to win a modern amount of wealth. Because the answer to your question, Adam, is Chris Redfield was a part of STARS in Resident Evil. Final answer.
Yeah, correct.
Is that your final answer?
Yep, and Dallas says I'm correct as well. Final
Dallas,
answer.
let him know he's won it. Oh, Stars Alpha Team is correct.
I won. Thank you so much, Dallas. I love you. Goodbye.
Very good. And I like specifically, it's only during that game he's a part of STARS. I believe the other games he is part of BSSA at one point. He was part of the Air Force at one point, but in that Mansion incident specifically, he was STARS Alpha Team. Very good.
I was gonna be really. If you would put Raccoon City Police Department (RPD) in there, I would have been like, "Oh fuck, I don't know." But RPD is what Leon Kennedy was part of, not Chris Redfield.
Yeah, not Chris. Yes. All right. Well, look at that. You've won a modern amount of wealth. On the first of the month, I'll be charged $1 for my Patreon fee. So go ahead and take that for yourself. That's for you. Take that 80 cents after they take their cut or whatever it is.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for that excellent segment from Adam. Spooky, scary. Boys becoming men becoming wolves. And that brings us to our final segment of the podcast, Game on Game Show. The Game on our Gaming Show where we play a game called Game on the Game. Sorry, I got distracted. I saw the Twitch chat and then I couldn't remember what was coming out of my mouth. That's what she said. Here's our game this week, Adam. I'm not going to reveal the name yet because I want to reveal why we chose the game this week. Game on Game Show. Today is October 10th. Yesterday was October 9th. That's how time works in the Gregorian calendar. Yesterday, October 9th, was the 10th anniversary of the game Dishonored.
Oh.
Happy 10 years, Dishonored. So we're playing a game today called Big Hands, Warm Heart.
I knew Big Hands was coming up. I was like, when's he going to talk about Big Hands? All right, here we go.
So I've got 5 clues here that lead to big hands. It could be a character with big hands, or it could be hands themselves disembodied in video games, or things that make your hands big in video games.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you these clues, and you guess it. And if you can't get it, then I'll maybe give you another clue, et cetera, et cetera. I came up with this, like I literally finished making this list the second that I told you, hey, I'll be right there, I'm grabbing water, et cetera, for the podcast. So they're not the most clever, but I think they're pretty good.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Kick, punch, slice, throw, and smash your way to your final destination to face this hand.
Haha. This is the Master Hand from Smash Brothers.
That is correct. Master Hand from Smash Bros. I tried to put something about Crazy Hand in there too. Like, oh, wait.
Yeah. His weird brother who does this.
Yeah, it's like, and then they slap.
When you first started talking, I'm like, is this Fruit Ninja? You're talking about slicing with your hands? Yeah, Fruit Ninja. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah. All right, number 2. Stand still too long in some dungeons, and you'll get snatched to the heavens to be with Jesus. If you can't keep an eye on the ceiling, keep a lookout on the ground for shadows.
Dungeons, hands that grab you in dungeons. That's what's confusing me. In dungeons specifically. Is there any other clues, perhaps?
This is a Nintendo exclusive franchise.
Uh-huh. Hands. Would it maybe be the Ocarina of Time, the weird spiders? The fucking spiders from Zelda.
I understand what you're getting at. Yes, it is Zelda games in general, and they are the Wall Master, the hands. They were in Ocarina of Time. They're in several other 2D ones too, and they're just the disembodied hands that you see their shadows on the ground, and then they come down and they snatch you.
Okay. Is that in that first temple? The tree temple, whatever? Or am I misremembering?
Oh no, you're thinking of.
I knew it's
you're
Zelda,
thinking
but
of
I'm thinking of the weird. No, that's a skull
Goma.
spider.
You're
Whatever.
thinking of the.
I knew it was Zelda.
Oh, the Skulltulas. That's what you're thinking of.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Gotcha. We'll
Zelda,
still give it to you
though.
because
I
you
said
said Zelda. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the number 3. What the fuck is this guy even? His body parts aren't connected. His hair is some kind of linguini or some shit. And he's been platforming since the PS1 days and picked up some bunny friends along the way.
Linguini. That's where we went.
Yeah.
God, this is Rayman.
This is Rayman from the Rayman games. That is correct.
Linguini. What's your favorite kind of pasta? I love a good linguini, a good angel hair.
That was a subtle nod to not Grumpy Old Men, The Odd Couple.
2 Men and a
Walter
Baby.
Matthau, Jack Lemmon. Like,
You know they did a new version with Thomas Lennon? Thomas Lennon? The guy from Reno 911.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Lieutenant Dangle.
You keep talking. I'm going to look it up because it was,
right.
I don't know if it did well. I'm sure it had fucking 17 seasons that I don't know anything about. But, yeah.
All right, number 4. I've never seen this many fingers on one hand, though still it only wears rings on a single digit. Gotta get good if you want to beat it.
I was wondering when they'd show up. The weird fucking spooky spider hands from Elden Ring.
That is correct. It is the finger creepers from Elden Ring.
Creepers.
Those things look nasty as fuck.
Especially when you first meet them and you don't know what's going on, and either they're under the ground and you just see fingernails, or there's just big motherfuckers like crawling at you. Like, I don't like any of that. By the way, so I'm looking at The Odd Couple went from 2015, for 3 seasons.
Oh, it's
So
a show. Oh.
Yes, they made a TV show in 2015. So I guess it's the same idea. Matthew Perry, so from Friends fame, and
Okay,
Thomas Lennon of Reno 911. He's the Officer Dangle from Reno 911, the dude with the short shorts. That was The Odd Couple, was those 2 guys.
Which one was Oscar? Was that Matthew Perry? I assume so.
Matthew Perry was Oscar, and
Yeah.
Thomas Lennon was Felix.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, what a dynamic duo. Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon back making Grumpy Old Men, making Odd Couple, Grumpier
Fucking
Old
love
Men.
Grumpy Old Men. That's so fucking good.
Yep.
Look at these old men that are mad.
All right, final one on Big Hands Warm Heart. This one, I don't know if you'll get this one because I'm not sure if you played this game or are familiar a lot with this game, but we'll see.
All right.
Swollen fists will vanquish foes in this Square-developed Mario game.
Ooh, is it a Super Mario RPG?
It is Super Mario RPG. Do you happen to... have you played Super Mario RPG? Do you have any idea what this is?
I've only played like an hour of Super Mario RPG, so I'm not I knew Square Enix Mario game. I'm like, okay, that's Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
But what
This is the Punch Glove or the Mega Glove are 2 weapons that Mario gets that makes his fists really big and punch shit.
I bet Princess Peach loves that.
Oh, she loves it. The thing though is that like he has to put on the glove and that he can't just like make his hand big in Princess Peach.
He puts a glove on.
Yeah,
to make
there's
it
got to
big.
be some between his regular gloves and the big gloves. There's got to be some middleman gloves in there too. Otherwise,
Yeah,
things aren't going to be happy.
maybe some puffy gloves.
But that's it for Big Hands, Warm Hearts. Happy 10th anniversary to Dishonored, the game with hands that are too big to make me enjoy it. And that is it for Game on Game Show. That is it for episode 279 of Respawn Aim Fire. Thank you, everyone. We had a lot of people turn out in the chat on a Monday afternoon. Maybe we'll just continue doing Monday afternoons. Maybe
Let's
I'll
just do
quit my
shows in
job.
the middle of the day. That's
Yeah.
what we need to do, apparently.
So thank you, everyone who watched along live. Thank you to those of you in the chat responding to the phone or the Ask the Audience. Thank you, Dallas, for helping me out with the Phone a Friend. You all have homework. Every single one of you have homework, and it's to go to patreon.com/respawnaimfire, where you get to vote on barf games for the month. That's our backlog accomplishments with Respawn and Friends, where you tell us what classic game or game that we wish we would have played, etc., are we going to play for the month. You all voted this month for a game that I tricked you on that's not available anywhere. So instead, we're playing Castlevania Anniversary Collection's Super Castlevania 4. Which you can also play on the SNES Classic if you have that as well, or you can play that on the Steam Deck, because Steam Deck knows its audience and is advertising emulators, and I love it. So go play that. We're going to have I haven't talked with Adam about it, but maybe we'll have a new Patreon perk for you patrons up there. You get to do some interesting submissions for things. I don't know. Well, just go to patreon.com/respawningfire. You'll figure it out from there. And go listen to our Barf episode from last month for Zelda 2. And that's it. Thank you, Adam, for being here. Wonderful to chat with you again.
Thank you for having me, Chad. It's been wonderful being on as a guest.
as a permanent guest who's always here and does some work.
Thanks for coming by. We appreciate you this week. You did it every week. I don't know how long it's been. It's been over a year, right?
Yeah, I think you joined us August of last year.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking don't ask me.
Until next time, here's our usual sign off. Oh, Mario!